Paul, I know we want to look ahead and we will do that, but it's important to reflect as well on Sunday and the season as a whole. A couple of days on from final day. What are your thoughts on it all?
Well, obviously, huge disappointment. I said earlier in the season, which I stand by, it would be a failure from my point of view if we weren't successful and got at least into the playoffs. So I feel disappointed that we didn't do it. I still think we had plenty to get in there, and it wasn't the last game that didn't get us in there. It was, the points we dropped against Bristol Rovers, MK Dons. That's fundamentally what's killed us, and that's what we need to get better at. And that's why I harp on all the time about everything matters, because everything does matter. Every corner you take, every defending set piece you set yourself up for, everything matters, because it comes down to the smallest margins at the end of the season. And fundamentally, come the end of the season, we haven't been good enough or lucky enough to get in, which is disappointing because I would have really fancied us in the playoffs. So I am disappointed. However, I am, again, as football is like that, you have a day to lick your wounds. I am excited about what we can do next year. So I'm really pleased with the effort we got from the players this year. Loads of them have played over 50 games. To keep them all fit as long as we have is a testament to everyone who works here. And hopefully we can refill and restock and, grab the league by the kahunas next year.
You touched on it a little bit there. Some of, I guess, the missed opportunities, and if we picked up a point there, if we'd held on to win there, do you start to look back at those sort of things, or does that not do you much good?
No, it doesn't do me much good, no. I mean, I will watch some of the games back, not because I want to, put myself through hell, just because at the end of the season you need to reflect, and which I have done, but you need to sort of see what was going right and wrong, and you sort of forget about games back in January or December, and you forget about personal performances as well. So I'll watch a few back, but I don't beat myself up at the end of the season for what went wrong, if that makes sense. So you've interviewed me loads of times and spoke to me loads of times off camera during the season where even when we're won, I'm not over the moon because I know the performance wasn't right. But when the season ends, there's not much you can do about it apart from try and learn from it and try and get the group in a better state for performing next season. Now, that means new faces in certain places, obviously. Get the lads possibly a little bit fitter and get things changed a little bit around the training ground, how we want the club to be. And then you just look forward to the fixtures coming out like every other club. So I don't harp on about, like, every club in every league has games where, if they'd have got the penalty there, if they'd have got this there, that decision there, there's always going to be poor decisions. I think maybe ours are encapsulated in the last few games of the season. What makes it feel a bit rawer, I think, is probably the best way to put it.
You said just there, and you said it immediately after the game as well, about basically you feel like it's failure because you've not got into the playoffs. Do you qualify that at all, or is it plain and simple that's how you feel?
Well, that's how I feel, because we came in here to support the team's progress up the table and try and get into the playoffs, and I thought we had enough in the room to give us a right good chance. I do think there's many successes on the way. There's really good performances on the way. There's been growth in some players. And there's been a really understanding between, I think, the players and the staff what we want. And there's, it takes us into the summer with additions, gives us a right chance. But for me personally, I'm used to abject failure or unbelievable success. So for this is a bit weirder, being seventh. But for me personally, it feels like a failure. I'm not saying the club's failed. I'm just saying for me personally, I'm a winner. I don't like losing at anything. So it feels like 6 teams have been better than us, and that's frustrating for me. And that's what energises us to get up, come in, do hours of recruitment today, do loads of different things just to try and get the things we got wrong right for next year.
What lessons, either big or small, will you learn from this season? It might be the sort of thing that takes a few days, few weeks to come.
I don't know really, mate. That's a good question. I don't like. We do reviews after every single game. I watch every minute back from every different angle. We present it to the lads every week. So we're constantly learning, I think, and it sounds cheesy, but it's not like we wait to the end of the season and go, right, sit down, right, that week got that wrong. I got loads wrong. I got loads of team selections wrong. I might have got loads of subs wrong, but they were always done from the right point. And that's why, in the end, although it is, I'm disappointed with the outcome, the work everyone put in behind the scenes to try and make it successful, I don't have any regrets. So all the decisions we made were with the best intentions and with the best information we had on all the players at the time. So I think what I've learned is we possibly, if we could have, we probably need a little bit more in January to help us over the line. We were a little bit dependent on a few of our star players to perform week in, week out. And like I said, I think there's about 6 players, I think, who played over 50 games this year. When you've only got a squad of 20, that is a lot. So I think I've learned the fact that if you look after the players as best you can, and they're resilient, you can get through, but it's not ideal. You want to freshen the team up a bit more. You do need more options. So, I'm well aware of the fact you need a bigger squad, really. So I do learn that. Maybe at times I stuck with certain players on the hope that it would come good in the games, where realistically I could have been more ruthless at times. However, more often than not, you start with 11 players because you think they're the best for the game. After 60 minutes, they're still the best 11 players at times. Maybe I could have made subs quicker, but then there's times where I think maybe I should have, they'll sort it out, leave it a bit longer. So I think I've learned that definitely that all the staff that we've inherited, that we've kept, are excellent at their jobs. They're all fully committed. They're all in today, as you well know, as you lot are. And I think I've definitely learned that we're, I think, a pretty good fit for this football club. We're really settled. We really enjoy everything we do. And I know I've definitely learned over the course of time that David's a man of his word, which is great. Which helps us to try and build the club forward. And I know that the club's in really good hands and really healthy. I know all that. However, from my job's point of view, I get judged by where the team ends. So I'm disappointed and we finished in 7th. But like I said, I'm looking forward to, I want it to start next week, by the way. Let's put that into context. I would like a little bit of sunshine, but I look forward to coming back.
You've had individual meetings with the players today. Has anything come through from those meetings that surprised you?
Yeah, a little bit. I think the lads are. I knew them all pretty well. I spent loads of time with them. However, when you speak to a player, and I include myself in this, mid-season to end season, they're different answers. Because mid-season, you sort of want to tell, and it's my job to sort of go between the weeds, but you sort of want to tell the manager that you're fit to go for every game, you're this, you want to give the most positive reflection of yourself to the management team all the time. And then at the end of the season, you probably get players being a bit more reflective, a bit more honest, a bit more humble, if I'm honest. And they're not as, I'm not saying players are confrontational, but if I was to speak to a player about why they're not playing in March, they might be like, when I speak to them in May and the season's over, they're like, yeah, I get that. I did have a little bit of a dip there. I was a little bit of fatigue there. And it just, what I like about having meetings at the end of the season, it just develops your understanding and respect of each other. That, look, these are the reasons why I did that. This is why we changed the system. This is why you didn't get the game time you thought you deserved. These are the things, if you want to play more next year, you need to develop. These are the things we'll help you with. And I think most players are pretty acceptable of critique at the end of the season, so you can have a more honest answer. So I've had conversations with players there. Look, I see you in my plans next year. If you get 15% fitter, you're 15% more reliable, you're more of a threat on set pieces, you make better nutritional choices, so it's up to you. You come back and you're at the front of the running on day one, great. If you're at the back of the running on day one, get ready. And if that isn't for you, then go and play your football somewhere else politely. So I've had loads of them conversations today. They can't all be at the front, but if I tell them all to be at the front, it will be a good race.
There is one individual we should mention, and that is Curtis Davis, who is moving on after 6 years with the football club. He's been a terrific servant, and I'm sure you'd want to say a few words about him. Yeah,
he's been excellent, and it wasn't an easy decision, although, prior to January, Curtis wasn't getting his game time. We had an honest conversation that he still wanted to play regularly. We were playing with a 4 at the back, so the conversation I had with Curtis, I preferred him in a 3, but we weren't playing with a 3 anymore. We were playing with a 4, so his game time was reduced, and he's got back into the team at the end of the season and was, admirable. His performances were really good. And I said to him today about it, and hopefully if you do an interview with him, that I said to him that this is his club. I'm just come in on the back door, and I know it's awkward when you talk to players and say this is the direction we're going and all that, and he's thinking like, I've been part of this fabric for a long time. But he's also a big boy and he understands how football is. It's, sometimes they're football decisions and you have to take the emotion out of it. Look, fundamentally this season, for whatever reason, we haven't achieved what we wanted to achieve. This is an elite sport. This isn't a charity. This isn't done out of goodwill and gesture and because if that was the case, Curtis would be here as a player till he's 50. So, and that can't be the case. We need to, revive the team. We need to strengthen in areas. We need to play in a way that I choose to play, and I explained this to Curtis, and he understood. He knew it was sort of coming, I think, to be fair. But he's been a brilliant captain for this club, a brilliant ambassador. I've really enjoyed working with him. I'll stay in contact with him for the rest of my life. I've told him that he's more than welcome to come and train here off season. He's more than welcome to join pre-season if he wants to train and get fit. The door's always open. Come and do RamsTV. Come and do whatever you want. I haven't had a fallout with him. There's no drama. It's just the fact that it's a footballing decision, and I have to make the decisions that I think suit the team. And no decisions are easy, and his certainly wasn't. But he wants to play more regularly, and I understand that. And this gives him the opportunity to do so.
Attention, as you know, very quickly turns to what comes next. Can you take us through the next few weeks and how that will look as you get ready for pre-season?
So today I've had all the meetings with the players, doing a little bit here. I'm now going to go into a recruitment meeting after this. This will go on for hours. I've then put a presentation together that I'm going to show David and the board tomorrow about these are the positions I want, these are the players that I want, these are the reasons that I want them. This is what I think we have a dearth in. We have a plethora of this. We don't need to. So we do all that. I do all that tomorrow. I'm then showing a player around here tomorrow. On Friday, I have another player that I'm showing around. And these players I'm trying to sign, I know have other options, but I'm just trying to put us as a club and as a personality in, and I'm trying to win them over, truth be told. And I'm trying to see if we get on, because what I won't do is sign a player on a whim or on a phone call. I need to show them, and in this meeting room, I'll show them the meeting of why I want them to sign for this club, how we play, how their play suits us. And if we get on, if we don't get on, there's no relationship to be had. So I'll have that tomorrow. And then at the weekend, I'm going to the playoff of the conference, Chesterfield, Notts County. So I'll go and see if there's anything that takes my fancy there. And constantly on the phone to agents. It's a constant thing. And I go through Mark, recruiting, and then I'll have another meeting with him tomorrow as well. And then going forward from then, there'll be a week of getting players in to show them around again, really, and to try and sell them the dream. And then I have to leave the finances and the with Stephen and Mark and all that. That gets sort of away from me. I just talk football. I mean, I am a bit Carol Vorderman, but I'm not a complete financial whiz kid. So leave that to them. And then really, selfishly, the pre-season's already been planned. The pre-season trip's been planned. Every day is like clockwork. We know what we're doing. All the lads have had chats today with Ross about their close season programmes individually, so we'll be on top of that. And then after the end of next week, apart from me going to attend playoff games, I'll try and have some time away. I won't. When I say time away, I just mean time away from here. I'd be the same job, and it'll just be constantly, player, meet this player, things like that all the time. And then I'll get a family holiday in June, which I'm looking forward to. And then it all starts again. Like literally, it's weird that my hours are longer off season than in season, which I know sounds like I'm like, oh, bless me, like with the violin. But it is, it's just all on the phone, FaceTime, setting up meetings, presenting to players, agents, and just trying to recruit the best people and the best players that we can. And to do that, the best players take a lot more conjuling. So I'll go to conjuling college for a week and then get ready to start sweet talking people to come.
You're going to have a lot more freedom to do more in terms of signing players, certainly than you had in January. How much of a boost is that in terms of the players you want to bring here? Yeah,
it is a boost. I mean, in fairness, like obviously I managed at one club. I've never joined a club mid-season, and these weren't players that I'd signed. So I'm not saying that in a tactical sort of way. I just mean as people, they didn't, we didn't get on. We didn't know each other really before I came. Although I did speak to a couple, in fairness. But when I spoke to the players this morning, if I can just go back a stage, I was saying to them, look, if I signed you today, these are the conversations I'd have. I'm paying you to train. I'm not paying you to play. If you play, it's a bonus. I'm not building the team around you. You're not going to be the captain. You're not the star show. You are part of the team, and it's all about the team all the time. And if you have to be the man who plays every week, do not sign for me. However, when I joined a club mid-season, they've had talks with Liam. I'm not saying Liam hasn't said the same thing. I don't know what Liam said. So when I get the opportunity to sign the players that I want to bring in, they're already, I know these lads already trained now. But the new ones I bring in know the situation, know that this is a really good team, really good club. The way we play, so it's nice to bring in more players to help. So I don't think we're far off, by the way, and I'm going to strengthen, no surprise, but I'm going to strengthen at wing backs. We need obviously players out there. We need more choice and strength up the top of the pitch, more 10s, another 9 at least, trying to convince other people that their futures are here, and then it's just about reacting to whoever we lose. And it's all right saying you must have your best laid plans, but my best laid plans now, if I lose a player in this position, is however, if I don't lose him until August, those 4 or 5 players aren't there anymore. They've gone somewhere else. So it's just about planning, and the excitement of bringing new players in to help this very good group already is exciting for us. Because, like I said, I don't think we're far off. I think a pre-season with this group will definitely help, because we train hard and we have loads of meetings, so they get to understand a lot of things, and then to bring in other players on top of that will hopefully only put us in good stead.
One player who is sticking around is Craig Forsyth for an 11th season. Was that a pretty easy decision for you?
Yeah, piece of cake. He's been brilliant for me. When I first come in, I think I've said it to his face, so I think it's fine to put it out publicly. I was thinking, I'm not so sure. I don't know if I've said that in an interview before, but you as soon as you walk into a room with anything, even if it's a party, you're thinking, I'll speak to him, I'm not so sure about him or whatever. And as a football manager, you come in and you can't help it, but straight away you make, calls like, yeah, he looks a definite, I'm not sure, he looks definite, I'm not so sure, he's excellent. So for example, I don't mind saying this because I've said it to his face, as soon as I saw Knighty run around, I'm thinking, right, he's right up my street. So with Fozzie, he was a slow burner, really, and then I thought, I'm not too sure he can play fullback the way I want him to play fullback, and in fairness, we rolled the dice with him at centre half. I spoke to a few people at the club who said he's definitely not centre half, but he's done brilliant. And it's not, and like I said earlier in another question, that I don't give out contracts from charity or from romance or from it does him good. Football's not like that. I can't run the football club on romance, because my job will go. So I have to make it on what I see, and I think his performance has been excellent. I really like him as a bloke. I think he's brilliant, and I like him as a player. I like the way he looks after himself. I like the way he takes information on, and I like him in the team. And I think he's played over 40. He might even have played 50 games for me this year, which is some feat for any player. And I think he knows his body really well now, and I'm expecting to get the same amount of potential, if selected, games out of him next year. So yeah, he's a real solid citizen, good player, always at least a 7 out of 10 for you. And I know that sometimes we're fans, and I've seen it in my own playing career, that when you've had a player for so long, all they can see is faults in them. But that's because you've had them for so long. They can't have 11 years without one missed pass or one, I had a player that I loved at my previous club, and everyone say, oh yeah, but sometimes he gets done on the back stick. He's been here for 400 league games. Of course there's going to be flaws, but I think Foz is really good player for us, really good for cash as well, more than anyone else, and been a real stabilising player. So yeah, I'm really pleased that he stayed. It wasn't a difficult decision. He wanted to stay, so it goes down as one of the easiest negotiations in my whole career. So yeah, really pleased.
I get the sense you're quite excited about pre-season, and particularly the fitness side. You had a significant birthday the other day. Are you going to join in with much of it?
I will join in with some of the running, yeah. Yeah, I made the mistake of, hitting 50, hence why I've shaven my beard off as a midlife crisis. And I made the mistake of doing I have a chin-up bar in my garden and that, so I'm a bit of a weirdo, but I did some wide chin-ups without any warm-up, thinking it's fine, and like I've just had the physio knead my back in there because my shoulders are killing me. So I appreciate as I get older, I'm not what I was. But I do enjoy running with the team pre-season, because if they finish behind me, they haven't got a career. So if you can't beat a 50-year-old, you're in trouble. However, they all know that I quite like running, so this will be good fun. And also, I've had the joy today of every time I've interviewed them, so I've had a chat with them, they then go and see my, head of conditioning, Ross, and get their chat. Some of them had that before they came in because we ran late, massive shock. And I had the joy of telling them, look, you need to be at the front of the running, and I could see some of them had sweaty foreheads, so good. I mean, they need to be pushed. Like if we're collectively, and I'd say the whole football club here, we need to be 10% better because we were just that short. So if we're 10% better on everything, then we give ourselves a much better chance. So I love pre-season. I've always loved it. The players haven't got really to hate me yet because I haven't picked a team, although they can hate me because I love standing on the edge shouting at them. I thoroughly enjoy that. You can film all that, by the way. You'll have a great time with me pre-season. And not only the physical part, it's the mental part, it's the meetings, it's the, look, this is what it looks like to be a Derby County player. These are the respect values I expect you to hold to. This is how I expect you to speak to everybody in and out of the football club. These are the rules. This is my phone ban. This is how it looks. This is how we look on set pieces. This is how we look about sending people wide. This is what throw-in should look like. And the nice thing is, especially when you're on pre-season camp, as opposed to in a football club, I appreciate I could keep them here till 5 o'clock. They've got kids to pick up from school and all that. You have to appreciate they've got lives as well, and you need to keep them on side as well. But in a pre-season camp, you have them there. They've got nothing else to do apart from moan that their legs hurt. So they might as well moan in a meeting. So we can literally obliterate them with information and all that. So I do like pre-season. The other thing I really like about pre-season, and you can definitely edit my answers here because they're long, is that you bond friendships and understandings with people. So I had a chat with one of my players the other day, and I spoke to him for 2 hours, stuff I never knew about him that he will speak to the group about this weekend. Nat, I know Mendes Lang, done a talk the other day in a hotel, and the lads didn't know about him. And pre-season, they'll all do a talk to each other, they'll all know more about each other, they'll all have more care for each other, and hopefully that might be the extra 1% we need, that collectiveness and togetherness might be enough to get us over the line. So yeah, I love pre-season is the short version, and it's still sunny, and I do like the weather.
Cool, thanks for your time.
Thank you.